Akron Athletics presents Zips Weekly with Joe Moorhead. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and Akron Hilton Fairlawn. And now your host, Joe Dunn.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. Well, for the third time this season, the Zips go into overtime and lose a tough football game. This one 30-27 to Eastern Michigan. Now there's just one more game left. That'll be the day after Thanksgiving as the Ohio Bobcats come to town for a noon kickoff over at Infosys Stadium. Coach, you look back at the season, as we all will in a few weeks. A lot of what-ifs, close games. We very easily could be playing for a bowl bid the day after Thanksgiving against Ohio. Everything would have broken a little bit different through the course of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Second straight season with 5 one-score losses. This year it's 3 in overtime, and just a devastating finish to the Eastern Michigan game. Really feel for our kids, and but honestly, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about these close losses. We got to make sure as coaches we're putting the kids in position to be successful with the calls, and ultimately at the end of the day, we had an opportunity to close that game out in all 3 phases, and someone needs to step up and make a play.
I got to give you and your coaching staff credit because every game, regardless of how tough those losses have been, your team has come out and played extremely hard.
Yeah, they understand that there's one way things are done in our program, and that's the right way. So we're not going to allow a win or a loss to dictate our attitudes and behaviors. We're going to come and be a well-prepared team. We're going to practice hard throughout the week and be a team that gives great effort and executes at a high level. We just need to execute at a high level better in the fourth quarter.
We're not going to see all the plays from the Eastern Michigan game, but suffice it to say, Coach, there were a lot of unique situations that we won't get into, but that's just a game of football.
Yeah, we turned 10 of those unique situations into the league this week, and we'll see what the replies are. But, at the end of the day, you can't allow a call or a lack of a call to determine the outcome of a game like that. You got to make your own breaks.
Exactly. Well, let's go back up to Ypsilanti, Michigan this past week. Reinerson Stadium on the campus of Eastern Michigan. Pick up highlights as the Zips win the toss, defer to the second half, and going to be a game early at least. Not a lot of possessions in this football game early.
Yeah, that was part of our game plan. Defensively we knew we had to, stop the run game, including the quarterback. Wanted to limit explosive plays by number 1 and number 2, which we didn't do. And we needed to generate turnovers, which we didn't do. But early on in the game, I thought we did a real nice job, containing the run game and forcing some early punts.
Going to watch the play from ground level. Again, I think Eastern's going to have a couple of first downs in that initial possession. Then they're going to punt the football, and we're going to take over at the 4-yard line. Yeah,
we were playing out of the shadow of our own goalpost quite a bit, and that's something that we need to be able to do. We punt the thing 10 yards into the end zone, and the other team's down at the 1, so we got to be much better there.
You played 2 quarterbacks, Coach. We're going to talk about those 2 guys later, but I thought at times they both played very well.
I thought they played complementary football. Obviously the things that Jeff presents in the pass game and Taj presents in the run game are a little bit different. So we wanted to try to get the best of both worlds out of those guys.
Zips string a couple of first downs together. We're going to see a scoreless first quarter. Time running down there, as you can see, with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And the first quarter will end scoreless. But not a lot of opportunities, I don't think, in that first quarter.
Yeah, it was a game of field position. And, we knew, as you mentioned, it was going to be limited opportunities from a possession standpoint, and both teams, not necessarily 3 and outs, but moving the ball a little bit and trading punts, and led to a 14-point second quarter for both teams.
Yeah, that last possession of the first quarter is going to extend into the second quarter, and they're going to score a touchdown. And big play is going to be a 20-yard pass to tight end T.J. Banks.
Yeah, got into double tights there and caught him in cover 3. Hit him with 4 verts off of play action, and TJ did a good job holding on to the ball into the red zone there.
It looked like you went to the tight ends a lot this game, maybe more than you had in the previous game.
Yeah, it kind of went back to the Kent game plan, and we thought that broadening the front was going to help give us some opportunities in the run game. We didn't necessarily run it for a lot of yards or yards per carry, but we knew we had to, like I said, make it a game where we were going to limit possessions and not turn the ball over and really do what we did heading into the last drive of the game for Eastern Michigan.
From ground level, you're going to see Taj Bullock come in and take it into the end zone over the right side, and his reward is that touchdown tie. Here's the extra point by Owen Wiley. He's kind of settled in now as your kicker.
Yeah, he's done a nice job.
Zips in front 7-0 early in that second quarter. Half's
Yeah.
going to end 14-14 though.
Yeah, the only disappointing part, well, not only, but let you know, after all of our scoring drives, the next subsequent drive by Eastern was a scoring drive as well. So we need to be, do a better job on defense once we gain momentum, holding on to the momentum.
Saw C.J. Nunnally, a nice play. Then the Akron with an explosive play right down the middle on a nice, looked like that was kind of a screen off to the right.
Yeah, double screen.
Yeah.
So it's tailback screen to the field, wide receiver screen to the boundary. They chased the running back screen. We were able to dump that thing off to Daniel and did a good job covering that thing up.
Yeah, that was
12 and
executed
19
well.
on 3rd and 4th down conversions, so that for 65%, which was our best for the year.
That was, I think Lorenzo Lingard kind of
Yeah.
diving into the pack.
Good catch on the 3rd down conversion, and then punched the thing in to take the lead.
You figure out how big and strong he is. He gets hit right there at about the 3 and just powers through 4 Eastern Michigan players.
Yeah, over 1,000 all-purpose yards for the season, and I think you really seen the latter end, the tail end of these last few games. Lorenzo really finding his footing and doing a nice job.
I would think it's somebody's going to give him a chance anyway at the next level. Take a look at him.
Yeah, I think he has a good pro day and posts some good numbers, and he's definitely a guy that can get into a camp and hopefully get an opportunity to play running back and make a contribution on special teams as well.
Zips on defense, back-to-back big plays there by a couple defensive backs. I think this is Tyson Durant right there diving to make the play.
Tyson did a nice job throughout the day.
First half's going to end 14-14, and we're going to come back after this timeout, take a look at the big plays and the highlights from the second half right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Welcome back to Zips Weekly. As you discussed last week's game with head football coach Joe Moorhead, we are at halftime up at Ypsilanti. The score is 14-14, and we're going to get the football coach to start the second half. We're very much in this football game.
Yeah, I felt good about where we are. 14 points, tie ball game with the ball. They end up kicking that thing out of bounds, and the third quarter really turned into a little bit of a pitcher's duel and field position battle, exchanging punts, and then got into some scoring in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we're going to see some highlights, but as the coach said, a scoreless third quarter. Going to be a lot of action coming up in the fourth and then into overtime. But again, the Zip defense playing well, and you lost a few defensive players, again, with some unique situations, but you had some guys come off the bench. Shimon Cooper, I thought, played a good game.
Yeah, it was his best game of the season. Really challenging when you lose Teray and then you lose Fish, two of your best guys of the front six. Devon, Marcus Moore, Jaron Griffin, and Shimon had to really step up there on the interior.
Nice throw there to Daniel George. And back on the defensive side, the Zips swarming on defense. And sometimes you forget some of those leaders. Antavius Fish obviously has turned into one of the leaders on defense. It's tough to play without him.
Yeah, he and McCoy are both vocal and leaders by example on the defense. And I thought we played very good run defense throughout the day, really up until the last 2-minute drive where they kicked the field goal, and then in overtime we gave up a bunch of leaky yardage there, so kind of wheels fell off a little bit there at the end.
Saw the pressure from Shimon Cooper in that last play, and then Nunnally comes in to clean it up, and again, good pursuit.
Yeah, Corey Thomas and CJ getting in there, getting into the fourth quarter now.
Yeah, still 14-14, final quarter of play, up Ypsilanti.
Yeah, same thing, limited possessions, so we knew we had to make the most of the opportunities and continue throughout the course of the game to make a lot of critical third down conversions, including this one here with Taj.
They ran that option play, and that worked really well.
Yeah, they were in a bare front, which makes it, 0 nose, 2-3 techniques, and 2 5s. It makes it a little bit more difficult to run the ball between the tackles. It does open some things up on the edges, and then you see a lot of 1 high coverage as well.
Well, this is a nice throw to Daniel George. Catches that one right as his hip and going to go downfield, I think, for a first down.
Yep. So heading down into field goal range here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to punch it in, and Owen comes in and puts the Zips up by 3.
We're going to talk about the offensive line in the third segment. I thought at times they played really well.
Yeah, they did a better job in the run game, and a better job giving Jeff some opportunity and time to throw the ball.
Zips up 17-14 midway through that fourth quarter.
Yeah, saw the interception there that could have ended it and get the ball back, and we're driving down into Eastern Michigan territory, looking to get another score, close this thing out.
Well, this is a great catch by Gathings. When he caught this, Coach, I think that could have sealed the football game with a first down.
Yeah, we ran it a couple times, had a good third down play called, and unfortunately got tackled for loss, had a little miscommunication there, and obviously you could talk about going for it. We weren't going to make a field goal from that range, and I felt if you throw an incompletion, then they have it at the 32-yard line with less yardage to go. So the plan was to pooch punt it, pop it up, and down it at the 1. And unfortunately, we rifled that thing into the end zone and weren't able to down it.
Just saw one of the biggest plays of the game. To me, it looked like the quarterback came down inbounds. They stopped play and allowed them to continue to go, right?
Yeah, they sure did.
And that allows them to kick a field goal to send it into overtime. And you can see right now, it is 24-17 Eastern Michigan. They're simply going to come and tie it up. And Taj Bullock's going to be the guy here in a few plays to do it. But a good throw there to get it down to the 7.
Huge conversion to Bobby. Got Gathings open there for a touchdown. Threw it to Daniel there, and brought Taj in, run a little play action, and get the thing to Jake for his first collegiate touchdown, which was great to see.
Yeah, from
Taj
ground
ran
level.
for 1, threw for 1, which was good.
Yeah,
good
that
production.
broke wide open for you.
Yep.
Owen Wiley with a pressure extra point, and suddenly it's 24-24 going into the second overtime.
Yep, we obviously looking to score a touchdown here. Weren't able to get a first down, and we pushed that thing through there.
Kind of a knuckler it went through.
Yeah, it was a knuckler, and they obviously scored on their possession, and just one where we got to be able to close that game out in overtime.
Yeah, he had a couple opportunities. I don't know if we saw the play where he had a chance to pick that off and take it in to give us a 2-touchdown lead, and just couldn't hang on to the football.
A lot of opportunities. D-Lou had that thing, hit him in the chest, and and then obviously you mentioned the unique situation with the ball that came out in overtime. So yeah, once again, a couple plays on offense, a couple plays on defense, a couple on special teams where we got to be a little bit better, and that's how you turn a losing program into a winning program. You find a way to make a play when a play is needed to be made, and we haven't done that in the fourth quarter.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back, and talk about some of the top individual performances against Eastern Michigan right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly. Each week we talk to the coach about some of the top individual performances from the past week, and even though the Zips lost a tough one in overtime at Eastern Michigan, there were some outstanding performances. And Coach, let's talk about the quarterbacks. We saw you play 2 quarterbacks, and I thought the numbers were pretty good on Jeff Undercuffler.
Yeah, it was an approach we needed to take to, like I said, maximize the strengths of both guys and minimize the things that they, need to improve. And Jeff was able to move the ball in the air. convert third downs, get us into the end zone, and most importantly, no turnovers.
Yeah, had some good play from your wide receivers. Daniel George had the one screen pass we talked about. Got caught by a couple of defensive backs. That's a big play. He had a number of those this year.
Yeah, both guys I think up over 80 yards. 6 or 7 receptions. They show up in the statistical leaders for the league this year, and both guys on the outside who really did a nice job. With their performance and production and giving us the opportunity to win the game.
A guy I've been impressed with, and he's only a redshirt freshman, a guy you picked up in the transfer portal, is tight end Jake Newell. Caught 4 passes for 25 yards, 1 TD catch in overtime.
In addition to CJ with his
Yeah.
explosive play as well. So I looked it up the other day. I think we have 25 or 30 catches between our tight ends for close to 300 yards. And, Jake's got an incredible upside. Obviously knew him from being in Eugene, and our sons played in the same 7-on-7 organization. So, very fortunate to have a kid of that talent and, like a lot of our guys, young with a bunch of years of eligibility remaining.
It seems like in the transfer portal, Coach, there's a lot of guys out there. You mentioned a lot of really good football players playing in backup, really good football players. You just got to find those guys.
Yeah, that's the trick of it, and a lot of it comes down to relationships. There's a lot more, supply than demand. But you've got to do your research, and ultimately at Power 5 schools, they're recruiting at a high level, and there's only one football, and you can only put 11 guys on the field at a time. So there's guys like the ones who we've taken and have seen, an increase in their production that, hopefully we can continue that moving forward.
One good question on that, Coach, before we move on with the players. Who makes that initial contact? Do you call, or does the player call, or how's that work?
Yeah, the process is they've got to officially enter their name in the NCAA portal.
Okay.
And then we get a report on that from a recruiting coordinator every day. So once they're officially in there, then you're free to contact them.
And then you look as far as the contacts you have or some of the assistants have.
Yeah, so we get the sheet every morning. We go through the names, and whether it's a guy that we would like to investigate and research because of production, and then on top of that, all right, does anybody know this guy or anybody know his coaches? It goes through that process.
Okay, sounds good. We talked about the offensive line, and that's kind of been a mix and match thing all year. I know you want to try and get that settled in spring ball, but I thought at times they played well at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a challenge because of 2 things. Eastern's personnel, particularly the linebackers at the second level, Sparacio and Klein. They had some big 300-pounders, and we're going to play 5 down. So a bunch of single blocks, and I thought once again we didn't run for a ton of yards, but we were efficient. I think only 1 negative yardage carry. And then, we were able to give Jeff, I don't want to say a ton of time, but ample time to get through the early part of his progressions.
Defensively, how about linebacker Shamon Cooper came in with 9 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. He's a transfer from Illinois. He's a good pickup. Still has a year left, I think.
Yes, sir. And, that's the next man in philosophy. Somebody goes down, you expect the person that goes in to do as good or better of a job. And you can't minimize the effect of losing someone like Antavius, who's played really, really good football. But both Shamon and Jaron Griffin went in and, contributed well to the defense.
Yeah, safety Corey Thomas from your hometown of Pittsburgh, Coach. 8 tackles, tackle for loss. Big safety back there at 6'4".
Yeah, we have him playing a little bit of the nickel position as well as field safety. Big, tall, rangy guy with a lot of speed, good coverage skills, and you saw him make a couple tackles close to the line of scrimmage.
Let's talk about your special teams. We mentioned freshman Owen Wiley. 2 field goals, 23 yards and 36, made some pressure kicks in overtime. He's kind of settled in as your number 1 guy. I mean, that last field goal wasn't pretty, but it got through.
Yeah, it went in, so that's a positive. But it feels good to be able to come in and talk about those guys for a positive reason. And it was the same thing. You're looking for stability, and I think Owen, through his performances, brought that to us the last few weeks.
I looked in the pregame notes, Coach, and Eastern had, I think, 3 returns for touchdowns with their kickoff team, but you didn't allow that. I think you had good kick coverage.
Yeah, part of the plan was we wanted to kick it away from that kid, number 1, or number 2, kick it with enough height, sacrifice a little bit of the distance just to get our coverage team down there. And I think we only allowed 1 to get out a little bit, but it was a good kick location and hang time by Dante, and I thought our kids hustled down the field and defeated some blocks.
Yeah, they ran that little reverse on you in the kickoff, but it didn't burn you too much.
It didn't, aside from us hitting the guy 4 yards out of bounds. So we covered it well, but we weren't real disciplined on that play on the sideline.
Okay, we're going to take a break. As we said, the Zips have 1 more game left. The day after Thanksgiving, Infocision Stadium, noon kickoff against the Ohio University Bobcats. We're back to talk about that game and more right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Okay, our weekly Scouting Report all season long has been brought to you by the Hilton Akron Fairlawn Hotel. Our thanks to them for being part of our Zips Weekly program every season. The Ohio Bobcats come to town. Ohio University Bobcats noon kickoff the day after Thanksgiving. And Coach, going to say goodbye to 12 seniors in a little pregame ceremony. It's always tough to say goodbye to those guys because you've gotten close to them. They've given you 100%.
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of these guys they're meeting their football mortality. You know, hopefully we have some that have an opportunity to go on and play at the next level. But anytime, you know, high school, college, pro, that you realize that your playing career that something you've done your whole life is coming to an end, it's always always tough for those guys.
As we said, Ohio University comes to town. That'll be a noon kickoff the day after Thanksgiving. Head coach Tim Albin in his third season. Right now they are 8-3. Number 2 team in the MAC got a nice win over Central Michigan, 34-20 earlier in the week. And suffice it to say, Coach, they're a very good football team.
It's a good football team. You know, Coach Albin's done a very nice job. You know, look over the past 3 years, you know, competing for the championship, playing in the championship, bowl eligible, you know, explosive offense led by Curtis Rourke and Sam Weiglas, and a big, strong physical offensive line. And then defensively, they're in the top 5 in the country in scoring defense.
Exactly. Had a big win early in the season when Iowa State came to town. They beat the Cyclones 10-7. A perfect example, Coach, why it's tough to schedule those P5 teams that come in and play in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, Coach Campbell at Iowa State's a Northeastern Ohio guy, so I'm sure he wanted to get back in state and, you know, play a game for recruiting purposes, and probably wasn't expecting that outcome. But you know, it's that's the difference. You make a field goal and you beat them. We miss a field goal and we lose to a Big Ten team. So, you know, obviously a great win for Ohio U.
We've seen a lot of good quarterbacks this year, Coach. We're going to see a really good one in Curtis Rourke. 6'5", about 230 pounds, the reigning Mid-American Conference Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, great player, Canadian kid, can throw it, can run it. You know, obviously operates their system and their offense well. You know, I think he and Finn are probably Daquan Finn are probably the 2 best quarterbacks in the league. And, you know, he presents a lot of issues for you defensively in terms of preparation.
The one thing I've noticed through the years in watching Ohio University, they have always had a good offensive line and a very big offensive line.
They're big and strong up front, and the same on the defensive line as well. And they got linebackers that can run and hit and cover. So, you know, the DNA and the makeup of their mentality of the team is a ton of physicality. And, you know, that all starts up front.
Exactly. Talking about the 12 seniors, saying goodbye to them before the Ohio University game, is there a little extra motivation maybe at the underclassmen to send those seniors out on a positive note?
Yeah, we talk about that because, you know, all those guys are 1, 2, or 3 years away from being in the same position, and, you know, have a chance to get our second MAC win and our 3rd overall, which we haven't done since 2018, and, you know, most importantly, send these seniors off the right way.
Coach, we will talk to you again after that Ohio University game. Best of luck against the Bobcats. Thanks for watching all season long on Zips Weekly. We'll see you back here next week. And always remember, go Zips.
Thanks for watching Zips Weekly with Joe Moorhead. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and Akron Hilton Fairlawn. We'll see you next week. And as always, go Zips.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.